So, Renaldo, welcome to Cape Town.
Thanks, Rob. It's great to be
Why are
here.
you here?
I'm here to shoot some amazing content for the Truth Report.
You sure your wife didn't want to get rid of you for a
My
few
wife
days?
also asked that I just leave her alone for a little bit. So that's actually why I'm here.
That's what I thought. So this must be the Ren and Stimpy show. What cartoons did you watch when you were young?
Masupalami,
Swart
Swartkat. Okay, I'm not that old. You're showing your age. I would say Pumpkin Patch, KTV. Oh, I remember. And what's it?
Dog?
Biker Mice from Mars. Remember that?
The Powerpuff Girls?
No, that was for you. No, not for me.
Okay. Renaldo, you always interviewing people. You're always in charge. I'm interviewing you this time. Okay.
Help me.
Because what do I know about Renaldo? I met you in PE.
Great place, right?
Byron Shepherd. Great place. A bit messed up, but we can be fixed. It's actually got real potential. We've become friends. We've spent time on podcasts together. We've helped each other. You've now done your migration from the DA to the FF Plus. And that's what most people know about you. But I want to know, where were you born? Tell me a little bit about Renaldo as a young man.
I was born in a little town called Dispatch.
Isn't that where all the rugby players come from?
Yes. So Donnie Gerber, Poete Himan, Rassie Erasmus, our coach, Springbok coach from there. It's about 40 kilometers outside of Port Elizabeth. It was eventually created as a town for where the workers lived when they were working in Uitenhage, which is one of the oldest towns.
Why is it called
Africa.
Dispatch?
Because they literally dispatched product from there.
Really?
So there was no creativity when it came to the name. But the people there are the salt of the earth, amazing human beings. Look, I mean, they're called klipgooiers because if there's any issues, they just pick up a rock and throw it because that's how we deal with issues. But wonderful people. You can actually still in Dispatch today go and play rugby or cricket in the field, in the street with your friends, and there's no issues, serious issues. So it's like a little time capsule.
Tiny town.
Tiny little town, yeah.
Big
Beautiful.
church, steeple.
Of course.
And farms around.
Proper Afrikaans little town, yeah.
And were you brought up Afrikaans?
Yes, I went to Afrikaans primary school and high school.
In Dispatch?
No. I went, in Dispatch primary school, and then I went to Die Brandwag in Uitenhage, Afrikaans. And then university, I went to UPE, and then it turned to NMU, Nelson Mandela University.
So you're fully Eastern Cape?
Yeah. Born and bred, love it. Love the Eastern Cape. It's one of the poorest provinces in South Africa, but there's so much potential. And I think once South Africa gets its act together, the potential in the Eastern Cape, and especially in Nelson Mandela Bay, I think it could outclass Johannesburg and provide a cheaper alternative than Cape Town.
Because you find all the people in Joburg and Pretoria would leave if they could.
Yeah.
But the people in PE and the Eastern Cape people just don't want to leave. They want to fix the Eastern Cape. They love it.
It's a beautiful place. It's a 15-minute city, especially in Nelson Mandela Bay, from the one side to the other. And look, we've got all the beauty that the rest of the country has to offer. We've got the Big Seven in close by. Like, I think it's 15 minutes from the city in the Addo Elephant Park. And then we've got so many beautiful beaches. I think we've got even more blue flag beaches than Cape Town. So the potential is there, and there's so much undeveloped land. For instance, areas that look like Clifton, but there's just obviously no housing there yet because PE hasn't moved that far.
And there's some
out.
phenomenal game reserves there. I didn't know till 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Other than Addo, there were any game reserves there, but we've been to some extraordinary ones.
And hunting farms too, where you can shoot everything your heart desires.
Do you have a gun?
Yes, I've got a couple.
And you just got a shotgun?
Yes, I just got a shotgun. That's my new toy, my baby. Love it. Obviously, it's for protection, but I take it to the gun range whenever I get a chance.
So 8 of us dads with our 11-year-old sons went to the Royal Karoo, which is an hour-and-a-half drive from PE. And Rob Birch runs it, and his son Drew Birch. And the kids learned gun safety and how to shoot shotgun, rifle, sniper rifle. And my 11-year-old son nailed both clay pigeons the first time he shot with a shotgun.
That must have made you proud, right?
Very. Seeing I only shot one, I missed one.
And it's scary, with that being said, how a lot of people look at teaching your child gun safety at a young age, and they want to criticize that. That blows my mind, especially in a country with 84 murders every single day. You would think that people would encourage that, but I'm happy for that. Do they still offer shooting in school? I can't remember what it was called.
In senior school?
Yeah. Or maybe like
target shooting. It's a 2-2.
I see a Springbok colours future for your child there if he continues down that path.
Well, he's made it into the A cricket team. I'm very proud of him. He's a strike bowler.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. And Renaldo, you then grew up there, went to university, studied what?
I studied psychology. I got my BA, got my honors, and didn't make it into the master's program, ironically, because of transformation clauses. So then I pivoted into industrial psychology because you can't do anything with an honors degree in psychology. I transferred into industrial, finished my honors, and then did my master's, which means I am an industrial psychologist.
What is industrial psychology? Is it where you speak to the machines and try and keep them mentally stable?
No, so there's different aspects to it. The best example is it's training, development, it's recruitment, and then hiring and firing, of course.
So it's corporate psychology.
Yeah, it's corporate psychology. It's looking after, instead of looking after the health of the individual, as a psychologist would do, you're looking after the health of the business. So you take all aspects of it, put it together and see, is this the best that this business can do? Are the employees happy? Is the business turning a profit? And then you take it from there. But my area of expertise that I actually went into is compensation management. So I would headhunt people from the competition by the employer that hired me to scout and look at something that might interest you. As an example, let's use you as an example. You were working for company X, and company Y wants you. They employ me, and I structure a plan that I think will attract you more to this company. Like you don't want more money, but you'd like
more equity.
Or you want to spend more time with your family. So I would structure the deal.
Or a hot secretary.
Well, that with current laws, I can't help.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. HR went very woke, didn't it?
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
And that is why I actually moved out of it. I got sick of the labor laws in this country. I feel that it is, in essence, killing business because, employees that clearly did wrong go to the CCMA and then they overturn it. And I just had enough of it. And then, of course, I blessed myself by getting into politics.
So it's interesting because I've been reading a lot of articles that HR has grown massively as a management position, 64% growth over the last 10 years in America. 75% of psychologists are women. A majority of the HR people are women. And this Helen Andrews, this incredible woman, if you read her articles and watch her podcasts, she's just become prominent recently. She says, the demographic change has created wokeness. Women are responsible for wokeness. So if you think women dominate psychology, women dominate HR, wokeness has been driven into the workplace and HR has become incredibly powerful, but AI is going to fix that problem.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, it tracks because, biologically, even if you look at it, and on average, women are more emotional than men. Men are more physical. And obviously, if you bring the emotions into the workplace and, look after the most vulnerable and look, then it becomes a little bit woke.
It's feelings over facts.
Exactly.
Men focus on facts, women on feelings.
On average, let me help you.
Yeah, on average. Exactly. And then Renaldo, so you worked there for a while and then you banged your head and what happened? You went into politics. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so this was around the time that when I was doing my master's, I started YouTube. And it was initially YouTube, for those that don't know, YouTube was mostly like a troll site. It was, you would upload videos, but it was commentary videos about other YouTubers. It was like a Skinner, a Huisgenoot, or a U Magazine version of content creators. And people picked up on my accent and asked where I was from. And I said South Africa, and then they went, but you're white.
Which year was it?
2007.
So you've been YouTube since then?
Yeah. Well, there was a long gap of me doing nothing in between. But initially, yes. So then people asked about South Africa and I thought, well, let me start talking about it. And obviously, I went through not being able to get into a master's program for psychology because of my skin color. I couldn't get a bursary for my master's in industrial psychology. So that irritated me and I wanted to let off some steam. And that is why I started speaking about politics in this country. And then just more and more people tuned in. Initially, it was mostly expat countries, USA, Canada, Australia, that watched my content and shared it with their friends over there. And then initially when South Africa got more access to the internet, more basic access, a lot of my content then became more popular in South Africa.
And then tell me about the political move.
Yes.
So you were YouTubing and then what happened? Then you banged your head.
Yeah. So a lot of people, when I started getting more following on YouTube, said, Renaldo, you complain a lot, and we agree with it. We hear what you're saying, but what are you doing? And then that resonated with me. And I went, you know what, you're right. I need to, start putting some action behind my words. So I looked at the various different political parties, and the DA was the one that stood out to me because it was where I was with my frame of mind at that time. So I applied. Well, I didn't apply. I became a member. I got involved in the youth structures. I actually graduated from the Young Leadership Program.
Within the DA?
Yeah, the provincial one and the national one. I remember meeting Helen at the award ceremony. And she's like, "Hi, Renaldo. I've seen your YouTube videos. Here's your, your
She's
award."
a rock star.
She is. I'm a little. We can get into it, but I mean, she over her entire lifespan, phenomenal human being. I think she's up there with Nelson Mandela.
I agree.
Yeah, and unfortunately, though, I'm not sure whether it's age or whether it's some aspect that is affecting the DA. There's been a shift over the last year and a half, I would say. So, but overall, I've only got love for Helen.
And how long were you in the DA?
13 years. So I became a councillor in 2000. Let me just get my 2016. I became a councillor.
Okay.
And that was after, just being an activist from 2012. So for a long time, I didn't earn an income. That was not my intention. It was always just to, be involved. And then I got the opportunity to stand as a councillor in 2016. Within 2 years, my ward was, nominated, and I won an award for the best ward in.
Which ward is that?
Ward 2. So that is Umud, Summerstrand. It's pretty much the beachfront area of
That's
Port
the best
Elizabeth.
part of.
Well, it's the toughest part because you've got people that pay a lot of rates and taxes, and they expect a lot more from their councillor. So, but I was happy with that challenge. It was also the most diverse ward in Nelson Mandela Bay. Black, colored, Indian people, young people, old people, because of the university being around the corner. So it was great. Loved the experience. And then I got the opportunity to go to Parliament. Didn't kiss one ass.
As an MP?
Yeah, as a member of Parliament. So, I applied in 20, I think it was early in 24. I applied because the DA had the processes of, if you want to become a member of Parliament or a member of provincial legislature, apply. I applied and then made it through all of the processes. I mean, there were 12 stages to it. You had to do interviews, you had to do a questionnaire. Then there was the big interview, and then it was another big interview. It was like,
did you have to do a Rorschach test?
Yeah, no, but I think I would have failed that. But yeah, so I ranked high enough on the list that after the election, I made it to Parliament, and within 3 months, got kicked out of the DA.
Why?
According to the DA, I still don't know. The DA has not shared the minutes of the federal executive meeting with me. The people that investigated me, the legal counsel of the DA, they came to the conclusion after a 3-month investigation that, okay, I breached one of the clauses, but that wasn't reason enough to dismiss me. Their recommendation was that I return back to Parliament. 3-month investigation. Then the federal executive, which is the top rank of the DA, sat for 1 day, and they overturned that decision. And they haven't told me what and why they decided to do that. So right now, I still don't know. But what a blessing.
So you left Parliament, left the DA.
People say that Parliament kicked me out. That's false. When you lose your membership with your political party, then your seat goes with it because you serve at the behest of the party, and the party decides to put you in Parliament.
So they replaced you with a DA person?
Yeah, they replaced me with another individual. I don't know who, and I don't care, to be frank.
So that was 2024?
Yes, that was, I believe, September 2024. Yeah.
Okay, so last year.
It's about a year, and it's about 14 months now.
And were you grumpy, depressed, pissed off?
Initially, yes, because imagine working for 12 to 13 years, not kissing one ass, not following the blueprint that other politicians did. I mean, I used YouTube to speak to my constituents. I used WhatsApp. I created new ways of communicating with with the residents of my ward. And then to be recognized as one of 400 people in this country that, has the stuff needed to improve this country, to then just get a smear campaign by mainstream media that took a video completely out of context. ironically, the video actually proves the point now 15 years later that there is a double standard when it comes to racism in this country. You've got Julius Malema that can sing "Kill the Boot, Kill the Farmer" and say a lot of other things, get involved in a lot of other dodgy dealings, and he remains a member of parliament. But Renaldo GOUWS, that used an example to illustrate the double standards, gets kicked out of parliament. So,
and this sort of thing is exacerbated by ANC 24. I mean News 24.
Sorry, yeah, no, News 24, ANC Light. I don't know. Yep. But yes, look at, I mean, to be fair to News 24, it was IOL that broke the story. They cut out 96% of the video and used 4% that they uploaded.
It's a bit like the BBC and Donald Trump.
Yeah. I would argue that it's worse because they just cut a little bit of Donald Trump's speech. But I mean, the press ombudsman gave them a blood nose and then they got kicked out shortly afterwards. But you see, that happened and there was no vindication for Renaldo.
Correct.
It was, even though they got a snot nose or a blood nose by the press ombudsman, it's like, but Renaldo is still, wrong.
You're like Franco Mostert. Your red card's been rescinded, but you still got kicked off the field.
Exactly. But look, I mean, it's a blessing in disguise. I would rather it happen now than, having an entire full career with a political party that is willing to throw you under the bus because it's politically convenient for them. I'm 42. So
you don't look a day over 41.
Oh, thanks so much, Rob. I appreciate that.
Okay, so then you leave.
Yes.
But you've been doing podcasting. Roll back a bit. When did you start the Renaldo GOUWS show podcast in full form?
Yes, I would say I started going hard with YouTube in 2015 because a lot of the issues that I faced as a councillor and what I've heard from my fellow colleagues is what I started sharing on YouTube to just let people understand, what politicians go through. Because, fairly and unfairly, a lot of politicians are just assumed to be all the same. They get this amazing paycheck and they do nothing for it. But in actual fact, the actual hardworking councillors, that is way below what they should actually earn.
And they work very hard.
Yeah, they work very hard. Considering the ANC runs most of the metros, so as much as you want to work, you can't get everything that you want because the ANC is still in charge of the metro, especially in the Eastern Cape. So I started the YouTube journey and actually taking it very seriously in 2015. And from the start, the DA had a problem with it, which to me didn't make a lot of sense because if I've got a platform and I'm speaking things that are true and things that people can relate with, then isn't that better for the political party? Because most people will agree. There'll be some that disagree. Don't give too much power to the people that disagree because they are either ANC affiliates, EFF, or, whatever. So ultimately then I said, no, I'm sorry. This is what I'm going to do. I'm entitled to do it. There's nothing in the constitution of the party that says I'm not allowed to do it. And thank God that I continued with doing that because when last year happened to me, if it wasn't for my YouTube and my community, I would have been in dire straits right now.
I'm a member.
Oh, well, thank you very much. Yeah.
And you've got 200,000?
Yes, 200,800 now.
Well done.
Yeah,
that's huge.
The small numbers matter too.
Yes, they do.
So
and that's a revenue earner for you. You make some money from that.
Yes, I'm actually, when I say I took YouTube seriously from 2015, I meant like I would upload as much as I could when I could. So 2-3 videos a week because, I had my main job. Yeah. And then when I got removed by the DA because also for 3 months, I couldn't be on social media because I had to wait for the outcome of both the Human Rights Commission and also the DA's internal investigation. But when I eventually rejoined, people were so eager, not just to hear about the story with the DA, but to see, what's going on and what's my take on what's happening with the GNU. So then I decided, okay, let me, I've got time. Let me upload a video a day if I can, and let me do a live stream. And I have to say that with the amount of people that became members, that offers a base income for you, the super chats during the live streams, and then the ad revenue from my original videos, I'm earning more money now than a member of parliament.
That's brilliant. And how many pieces of content do you do a day?
I do 1 video a day and then 1 live stream in the evenings, but also Monday to Friday.
So 1 video and 1 live stream.
Yes.
Will you be doing one tonight?
I'll be doing a live stream tonight, yes, but not an original video because I've been here the whole day.
Sorry, we tied you up.
No, like Truth Report. What's going on, guys?
Exactly. And thank you for everything you do for Truth Report. Really appreciate it.
Thank you very much for creating it, Rob.
Yeah. Well, it's fun. It's actually fun.
But don't you agree? Like Truth Report was almost like the rock stars of this space. I mean, we've got the people in suits and the people that gaze down there or from their noses. And we are just the guys that are saying, hey guys, here's the truth. Take it or leave it,
100%. Okay. So before we get to the big FF plus discussion, you married?
Yes.
Kids?
No, not yet. Two Boston Terriers. But
what are their names? Cardle and Sardle?
No, Carter and Kennedy. Boston Terriers, they're American gentlemen, so we named them after presidents of the United States.
Jimmy Carter.
Yeah.
And John, both Democrats.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we didn't go that deep. It's just names that
Maybe your third one could be Ronnie.
No, the third one will be Trump.
Good man.
Yeah.
Okay. But kids, maybe?
So, yeah, definitely. I mean, now, especially that I've got time, because I wouldn't have been able to, assist Lauren with the children. But now, definitely, there should hopefully be a little Renaldo or a little Lauren relatively soon.
Lovely. And what does she do?
She's a graphic designer, but she also does a lot of social media for different companies. I'm not going to mention the companies for obvious reasons. Yeah. But she does social media for some national companies. And then she's got a brilliant Etsy shop. South Africans haven't really picked up on Etsy yet, but it's where you can get your craft stuff and personalized design things. And she's blown me away.
Got her own store.
She's got her own store.
Okay.
And what she's doing with that is just phenomenal. It's absolutely, and I'm so proud of her. And also just a shout out to my wife, during the last 14 months, she has been my rock, my foundation. And I definitely married above my station, without a doubt.
So did I. Yeah. I know the feeling.
We're lucky, eh?
We're lucky, yeah. And what do you do, like, for fun? Do you, is there a sport that are you a dispatch sporting hero?
Yeah, throwing rocks. No. I enjoy shooting my firearms. I enjoy spending time with my father because, I mean, that is what we do together. That's what brings us together. Sport shooting, riding motorcycles, love doing that. Because the Eastern Cape is so beautiful and there's so many roads and the coastal roads that you can take. Love it. Love it.
Yeah. And do you carry? I mean, I carry you.
Well, because I flew here, I can't carry, but yes, I every day carry in Nelson Mandela Bay.
Good man. Right. So then you made a big announcement a month or so ago. You joined their FF Plus. I'm a huge fan of Corné Mulder.
Yeah.
I really admire him to the nth degree. Yeah. And tell us where that came from. How did that happen?
So there was a year between me being removed from the DA and me joining the Freedom Front Plus. I had a lot of time to look at different I mean, initially I was like, that's it, I'm done. And when I started making videos again, a lot of people said, Renaldo, we need you back in politics. Come on. I mean, we know this is terrible, but even if you a councilor where you started, like we just need that positivity and that energy. So I was like, yeah, okay. And then I started looking at the different political parties. Obviously, ANC and MK looked very hard, I'll be honest with you. I looked at the PA, the ACDP, and the Freedom Front Plus. Those were the three parties. I can get into the details if you want me to, but I'd rather just tell you why I joined the Freedom Front Plus. I looked at, in February, Corné Mulder was elected as the new leader. To me, that was like an infusion of new energy. Dr. Pieter Groenewald is brilliant, but I think that the Freedom Front Plus needed that. They needed a new direction, somebody that has served in parliament, I think it was
from day one.
37 years. Yeah. He's been in parliament for 37 years.
Longer than Pisa, in fact.
Yes. And I looked at their policies and I was always, I think, misled initially by who and what the Freedom Front Plus was. I mean, I think it's fair that people have misconceptions because I don't think they did a lot back then to convince people that they're not only Afrikaner, not only for white Afrikaans people.
Farmers.
Yeah, exactly. And when I did my research and when I listened to what Corné Mulder had to say, I was like, but wait, I mean, this is almost like the DA, but he actually means what he says, and he stands for something that can be implemented. 85% of this country is Christian, which means there's some element of conservatism within them. And I thought, what I can probably do to help is change the perception that conservatism is apartheid or conservatism is this negative thing that mainstream media has tried to force down people's throats for the last 31 years. So I spoke to some people in the party and some other people reached out to me. And eventually Corne reached out to me. We had a meeting and then I had a meeting with the Dagbestuur, which is their federal executive. And yeah, the rest is history. And now I'm part of it. I'm helping to build branches in Nelson Mandela Bay. I'm spreading the word on my YouTube channel. I just want people to understand that there isn't just one party that they need to vote for good governance. Good governance is easy if you follow legislation. It's not hard.
The FF Plus resonates with me too. And in many ways, there's a part of the DA that I don't like, and that's the greeny, lefty, very hard liberal in the bad sense.
The
WEF crowd.
Yeah.
World
Economic Forum.
Google it. Like the Dion George crowd, I have to say. He's just got flicked for being too much of a lefty greenie.
Ellen Wendell also has that.
The DA is made up of those. I prefer the sort of more Republican center-right crowd. And that's why the FF Plus does resonate with me a lot. They're very capitalist, free market, libertarian.
Yeah, believe in federalism.
Federalism.
And what we can say to that is a simple question. Has constitutional democracy worked in South Africa over the last 31 years? So why are we continuing down this path when we can see it doesn't work? Exactly. And this is what News 24 and specifically Adrian Besson, when he went after people like Kali Kriel and to an extent the Freedom Front Plus, because this is what they believe in. It's like, why are you talking negatively about something that we've never tried but works in other parts of the world? And you still are defending this constitutional democracy that has given us the highest unemployment rate we've ever had.
And all the decisions being made by Pretoria, which didn't work under the Nats, doesn't work under the ANC, and doesn't work under the GNU.
Exactly.
But the DA speaks of federalization too. So
yeah, but
look,
what
I think the DA and FF Plus are natural allies.
Yes, I think.
And ACDP.
If we can have a situation where you've got the DA, the Freedom Front Plus, the ACDP, and to an extent the PA, depending on in what mood Gayton McKenzie is, I think that is something that can immediately change South Africa. So, but what I will say, what annoys me is when people go, stop voting for smaller parties and just vote for the DA. Quick question. There are hundreds of thousands of residents across this country that are under DA governance that is complaining about the rates and taxes that they currently have to pay to accommodate for those that don't pay. So my point is, be careful what you wish for, because we've learned a couple of times that bigger doesn't necessarily mean better. The ANC and the DA in, the Western Cape, where a lot of people are complaining how they can't afford to live in this province anymore. So that's something to take note of. But ultimately, people need to move back to voting for what they believe in and for what represents them, rather than voting for what is conveniently the biggest party. I always think that a coalition is great if you have people that all believe in the same vision.
A mission statement.
Yes.
And that's why the GNU has gone sideways, in my view. It just never had a mission statement.
Never.
Are they pro-West, pro-BRICS? Are they, pro-Hamas? Are they, it's like, it's like everybody seems to be running in different directions in the GNU.
Exactly. And the greatest example of that is we've got the DA that said we'll fight Bella and we'll fight the Expropriation Act. Now they've got two ministers that has to implement the Bella Act, and Siviwe Garube for basic education and Dean McPherson that has to implement the Expropriation Act. And yet their party is taking themselves to court. So the DA is taking themselves to court, including the minister who is their minister for the Expropriation Act.
Exactly. So, Renaldo, what does it mean? You joined the FF Plus as a what?
Member. So to everybody out there that is saying Renaldo is just doing this for a paycheck, I'm not getting paid anything. I'm putting my passion into this. I am standing for the municipal elections. Hopefully in Nelson Mandela Bay, we can work on a coalition. As a councillor. So I'm going in as a councillor. But I think with the coalition, there's a possibility to sit on the mayoral committee, which is where you can actually take a department and you can turn it around. So it is almost like an upgrade. It's something between a member of parliament and a councillor.
A municipal position, though?
Yes.
Okay. So you won't be at national?
No.
Not yet.
Not yet. And it depends on what the party wants. Look, I mean, ultimately, I'm not in it for positions. I've never been in it for positions. I just want to make a change.
And which area will you represent? The same?
Yeah, and Nelson Mandela Bay.
Summerstrand and...
No, well, yes. I think that obviously, just being a councillor there, people know me. They know who I am. And I do believe that I can sway people to consider the Freedom Front Plus.
I think you will.
Well, let's hope so.
Yeah. No, I really hope you get elected. You have my support. I believe in you.
Thank you.
I think it'll be a good thing for PE and a good thing for South Africa.
I'll fly you over and you can vote in my ward.
I think I'm a Bishop's Court voter and I think it's solid DA. I don't think anyone else runs against them.
But that's also important when it comes to municipal elections, this is something that when I was on the DA side, you would tell people, it's like, doesn't matter if the ward is 99% DA, you must still go and vote because the PR vote is also, because a municipality,
there's the list, isn't there?
Yeah. So the municipality is, let's say there's 60 wards, then there's automatically also 60 PR councillors additional. So then it makes it 120. So if you know that your ward is very strong ANC or very strong DA and you want to vote for the Freedom Front Plus, every vote counts. Your ward vote will obviously go against then, and maybe the DA or ANC councillor still wins, but the Freedom Front Plus gets those votes together and then that gives them an extra seat or two.
Everybody must get out, must register, and must vote.
Yeah.
It's essential. And then, Renaldo, what's the long-term plan? Or who knows?
Who knows? Yeah. I'm just here for the ride and I'm really enjoying it. I think that last year was something that was probably the most shocking experience that I've had to deal with. And I'm very happy with the way that I've dealt with it and the people that were around me, including people like you, the Truth Report, and so many of my colleagues that used to work with me that, of course, can't say it publicly, but reached out to me and just said, Renaldo, this is ridiculous. And this is a moment, and I want to mention it on here because it's something I won't forget. There was a by-election for my ward because I left the ward, so they had to have a by-election. And I went to go and vote, and this was at the height of, all of this, when I was still suspended. And I remember walking past the DA table and greeting everybody and being friendly, but then the ANC and the EFF calling me from the other side saying, come here, GOUWS, because they always used to call me GOUWS. And I went there and I'm now expecting to be lectured and I get this hug I'm actually getting goosebumps here. I get this hug from one of my colleagues from the ANC in council. And I was just like, and she went like, yo, it's not right. The EFF just high-fived me, but they also didn't say anything negative. And I was like, okay, I'll be fine. I'll be fine. Because if these individuals can see the bullshit, then I'm sure the rest can see it too. And in that moment is where I found peace. And I was like, yes, what happened to me was unfair. I can complain about it or I can actually just move forward with my life.
Well done you.
Yeah, and that's where I am now.
And Renaldo, you were a famous DJ in your youth.
Famous, you said.
What was your DJ handle?
It was DJ Renaldo, because we're from PE. We didn't come up with creative names like some of the Cape Townians here. But then I remember that I got asked to play a couple of gigs at Cubana, which, with all due respect, is predominantly a black establishment. Yeah. No, in PE. And I know that excuse me if I don't get this right, but I think is the type of music. So I came up, I said, I can't call myself DJ Renaldo. So I call myself DJ Ngamla, which means big boss man, or boss man. Yeah. So, and that is why my handle on X is Renaldo Ngamla GOUWS as a joke. And I literally loved playing that music. It is just something different and crowd went wild. So imagine this white guy playing to a predominantly black crowd and everybody's just going off.
You still DJ?
No, but I've got turntables and every now and then I'll pull them out and put some vinyls on and scratch a little bit and play around. But I do miss it. I mean, I would say that was the freest I felt as an individual, was just going out, playing and letting people party, let them get drunk, be merry. So it was a very positive environment. And then you go to politics.
Do you have a tattoo?
Oh, I've got a lot. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think I've got 7 tattoos.
I got 1.
You got 1.
I got 1 here. Katie's got 1 here. And
you got a tramp stand.
And we had a Maori priest who was in London do ceremony, and it's a koru, it's a Maori symbol here. And then when we're cuddling it, they match it, sit on top of each other.
That
I'm
is.
trying not to be too specific.
Yeah, like with the lint roller incident.
That. Tell us something no one knows about you.
Well, I wanted to say I used the K word a couple of years ago, but everybody knows that.
A hobby, an interest, something you collect, a weird category that you go onto. And
so no. I collect old Zuid-Afrikaanse Republiek coins because I've still got a connection with the Second Anglo-Boer War. And during that time, from 1899 to 1902, when the Boere were fighting the British, they still minted their own coins. And those coins are very rare, and they're graded now and they're sealed. But I mean, there's such a scarcity with those coins. So I've got this massive passion to collect every year and try and get as many of the gold ponder. It's not Kruger rands. It's actual. I know what you mean. It's actual currency back then.
I've got a couple of rand notes. Those brown. Yes. And they're about this big. They're tiny.
Yeah. And then I've got all the old notes. So I've also collected all the old notes from the Jan van Riebeeck notes or the imposter Jan van Riebeeck, all the way. Even now, when they changed it recently, I've got the animals and I've got Nelson Mandela, and I've got the updated ones that they've done now. But my most precious possession that I've got is a felt pond, which when the British took over the mint, they actually went into the veld and they hit gold and then weighed it at a certain percentage. And then they would see, okay, that is 1 pond. And there's got no inscription on it. In actual fact, it's got something they designed themselves by hand. And then that is on the coin. It's worth a lot of money, but I mean, the value of the history of it and what the Afrikaner fought against. Believe it or not, South Africa, but white people also suffered in South Africa.
No, big time.
A lot of people forget about
the Afrikaners were completely impoverished in 1920s and 1930s.
So their land was burned down. Their women and children were placed in concentration camps before the Nazis made it popular to the world. So that is a lot of things that aren't spoken of. And I mean, so that has got sentimental value because I've had family that fought in those wars.
When did your family come to South Africa?
I can trace it back to 1695. Wow,
pretty early.
Yeah, and it's French. It was the French Huguenots.
GOUWS.
GOUWS. It was André GOUWS. That is my first ancestor that landed in South Africa.
What book are you reading at the moment? Or books? You must have a couple next to your bed.
I started listening to audiobooks because I can't read books. I can read, but I don't like, I like doing more than one thing at a time. So the book that I'm listening to now is called A Town Called Discovery. And it is fascinating. It talks about AI that has taken over consciousness in the world. And it is righting the wrongs to ensure that the future of mankind is longer than what would have happened if AI didn't exist. I love sci-fi. So it's a mixture of time travel and AI correcting some of the mistakes in the past that mankind made. For instance, killing Hitler before he did what he did. So the book is all over the place, but it's phenomenal. And yeah, I mean, my favorite book actually is, there's so many to choose from, but I would say it's actually a movie that's coming out now. It's called Project Hail Mary. It's the same person that wrote The Martian, and that's coming out relatively soon. So I've read the book probably like 6-7 times, so I can't wait for the movie. What are you reading? I want to know. Let me learn from you.
Rhodes, the Colonialist. It's the new book on Cecil John Rhodes, the Colonialist. I'm reading Christopher Hitchens' book of essays on atheism. He's dead, but I mean, he got 50 essays together in a book on atheism. So different people and why they don't believe or whatever. And I've got quite a few books teed up to read. But
Do you know that Christopher Hitchens was the very first person to fight wokeness before wokeness actually became what it is?
And he deconstructed Islam.
Yeah. Exactly. That is also, he was against Islam when people were still calling him like, a racist or anti-religion and all of that. I think even though I am religious and he was an anti-theist, he's not an atheist, he's an anti-theist. I found his debates amazing. I mean, we lost such a treasure in that man.
Yeah. His greatest debate was when he completely took apart Catholicism. It was the most extraordinary, delivered, beautiful debate. He said, the Catholics have killed and destroyed more people's lives and more people than any other religion on the planet.
And
it's worth listening to.
His cigar and his whiskey.
Yeah. Renaldo, final question. Are you a singer or a dancer?
I'm a dancer.
I'm a singer. Buddy,
thank you very much.
Love you, man.
Appreciate it.